Yeah, I think if you're, I mean, and you know, as you well know, many national security conservatives would say, well, you don't want that war to end if it means that you have to give up, you know, that Russia invaded your territory, and you end up settling and saying, all right, you can have some of it. I mean, I think that's, you know these pressure points better than I do.
Yeah, look, I get all that, and I understand it. I think there's the reality of the war there. We can talk about it in greater detail in another interview, I imagine, but the truth of the matter is that that's what the Biden administration would admit. They don't admit it publicly, but if you ask the Biden administration, they will tell you we are funding a stalemate, okay? I think the Ukrainians have been incredibly brave and strong and standing up to Russia, but at the end of the day, what we are funding here is a stalemate war, and it needs to be brought to a conclusion because that country is going to be set back 100 years. Now, that doesn't mean that we celebrate what Vladimir Putin did or are excited about it, but I think there has to also be some common sense here, and that is that right now what we are funding is a stalemate that's costing lives and, you know, putting Ukraine, it's going to take 100 years to rebuild that poor country with everything they are facing.
Senator